Hey guys, welcome back to Food Aspire Home and Garden. I just wanted to show you my lovely vegetable garden. Starting off today, we have our creamy chicken pasta that we're going to be making our handmade noodles. First off, you probably want to put your onion in here, your garlic, and your 4 chicken breasts. If you have 4 people, this will last for 4 people. Also, if you are a single person like I am, this will last for 4 days for meal prep. So I always do a meal prep on all of my stuff, so you get to see all that stuff coming up. I'm putting all my chicken in here and my veggies because I'm going to start browning them. Then I'm going to add my seasoning. We're looking at basil. I had dried today, and I prefer to add fresh. So I did put in my ingredients that I only put like 3 sprigs, but honestly I usually get like one of those 4-ounce things and add the whole entire basil in there because it's like so yummy. So I chopped everything up and I just threw them in there for you guys. And then I chopped up extra tomatoes, which I had to get rid of. There was like 4 of them, and I just needed to get rid of them because they're about ready to, get bad. So I just throw those in there. I threw a bunch of cherry tomatoes in there. It's kind of like just a bunch of vegetables thrown in. Red pepper, black olives, all that stuff. And then I also threw some tomato paste in there also. 2 cans. Some salt. You want to just make sure that you do brown the meat and everything before you end up pressure cooking it, just so the meat doesn't fall apart. It's up to you. You can have the meat fall apart. It's not going to hurt anything with the pasta and stuff like that. So all of my stuff today is gluten-free, and it's paleo friendly, and it's Whole30 friendly too. So you might even be able to do keto if you probably added your whole milk, or if you don't like dairy, then you could always add your coconut milk. I also did add coconut milk in later. I didn't show it, but after I did this for 2 hours in the pressure cooker, I checked everything out. It looked fabulous, but it wasn't enough creaminess to it, so I added an extra can of that coconut milk to make it so creamy. So you can add whatever kind of vegetables that you want to add into it. Whatever you think is Italian flavored, you can add it in here. You can also make it hot if you want to, like with those pepper flakes, red pepper flakes, whatever you want to do. It's really an open recipe, so it just gives you a little idea of what I like to cook during the week. Here I'm making a roux, basically starting with my tomato paste, and also there is a can of chicken broth, which helps it also with the liquid, but also your vegetables are all going to cook down. So thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoy it, and I will chime in again when we get to the noodle part. So you're going to see a bunch of fun stuff here, and I wanted to say again, thank you so much for the current subscribers and my new subscribers. I really appreciate all of you and all of your support and everything. I think you guys are absolutely wonderful. So thank you so much for subscribing to the videos. It has just been a crazy whirlwind over the past couple weeks. I think we're going on 3 weeks now of where we have over like 1,500 right now subscribers, which is totally awesome and wonderful. So thank you so much so much for subscribing to these videos. I really appreciate each and every single one of you. Water, so all of it's going to create more of water and more of a sauce. So Alright, so noodle time. Okay, so you want to get about 5 cups of sifted cassava flour because there ends up being sometimes extra stuff that didn't get all the way ground up to make that flour. I think I might show it to you in one point in time after it goes all the way through the sifter, but it ends up having extra granules in there that I couldn't get through. There you go, right there. So I just throw those away, and I put 5 cups of cassava in this time. It was a little much. I actually had to use some coconut milk to help it combine all together. Sometimes the eggs, there's not enough yolk and not enough moisture. In Colorado, we have higher altitude, so a lot of times things are a lot different than they are in other places. All of these recipes are high altitude cooking, so if you're going to do any baking with me, you might have to look up your specific area, because depending on the area, you could add less eggs than what I do. I like a lot of moisture, so I usually add more eggs into everything than what you would add in your climate and stuff like that. So you do have to pay attention to that. We kind of have natural moisture and stuff, and leavening and stuff like that is totally different here than it is in other states too. So just a FYI about that one. So I added about 6 eggs in here, and then my flour became way dry, so I ended up adding some coconut milk, which is not going to do, it's going to make it all come together real nicely. So it's more like an egg kind of noodle, but it works real well. Anyway, you can always, if you can have salmonella or whatever it's called, flour, you can always use that. I can't because I'm gluten-free, so that's why I end up not using it. So you just basically want to mix it until it all comes together. Make sure you mix it really good, and then end up putting some more flour on top to help dust it and to get some of the moisture out. That's okay. You always want to leave an extra little bit of flour anyway to help you work out the dough and make it come together, and that's with anything. So I just keep mixing until it all comes together. I actually end up taking it out of the bowl at some point. That way it could come together a little bit better. Then you knead it for about 15-20 minutes or so, and make sure it's all coming together. Then split it out into 4 equal pieces. That's 4 things of noodles. Because there's 4 days or 4 people or whatever you want to say. And then I flattened everything out. I put 4 flattened pieces on a flat cookie sheet, and then I put a towel over the top of it, and I put it in the refrigerator. You could put it in the refrigerator. It has to rest anyway for at least 45 minutes. Mine has actually been in there for a couple hours now, so I'm gonna leave it in there until I'm ready to do my noodles parts of things. I haven't decided yet how I'm gonna cut them. Either we'll cut them or I'll try to see if we can get the mixer and see if we can actually make noodles this time. Sometimes it doesn't work as well with cassava because it doesn't have any gluten to hold it together. That is the only problem with using the gluten-free type materials. Rice tends to hold better together, but I'm not really one to use a bunch of rice in my stuff. Again, cassava also is a high carbohydrate, which people don't really care for that part very much. So there's some pros and cons, so you do have to do your research if you are looking at stuff. I do tend to slide on more of the paleo side of things also, which cassava is more paleo and the rice is not paleo. So again, you need to check that stuff out. I'm kind of a mixture of different things, so I'm not really full paleo or full this or that or whatever. I just try to stay away from certain things because it's better off that way for me. You guys have to do whatever works for you. This recipe also works for flour because I've done it with flour too when I was fine with stuff. But over the couple years, I just started cutting things out because milk causes me issues. So if you're one of those, this is a great recipe, and you can always change it if you want to. So it's no big deal. So here in a few minutes, we're going to start doing the noodles. Okay guys, so welcome back to Food Aspire. Hey guys, we're going to do the noodle part. With the noodle part, it's pretty easy. You just want to cut them in lengths. You can try the mechanic way, but I don't think it works very well because this doesn't have any gluten in it. If you don't want to make your own noodles, you can also get something like this. We're not affiliated. It's like an almond pasta kind of thing that you can also use. They come in like brick, and then you just follow the instructions. With any kind of pasta that you do use or fresh or whatever, I do add a little bit of oil in here. There's olive oil in there. And you need to make this come to a boil before you get started. Rolling out everything, I just make these little thin strips of pasta, and it just makes it really easy. That way that they can try to stay together. Don't touch them too much. Don't play with them too much because they will fall apart. If there's any cracks in your dough, it will fall apart too because we're not working with gluten. It works a little bit better, like I said, with rice flour. Unfortunately, I don't use rice flour, so if you are working with gluten-free material, if you're working with regular flour, hey, by all means, it doesn't fall apart, and you can also use the mechanic ways of doing stuff. But unfortunately, it's really hard to do it with this material, so that's why I usually tend to cut it and make a pretty long amount. That way it looks like noodles themselves. So anyway, let's get on to the next step, shall we? So you have your cassava noodles. A little olive oil on top so they won't stick together. And then you want to put your sauce on top too. And there you have it, your chicken breast is on top. You can squirt a little bit of cheese on top if you want to, whatever you want. But there's your meal pasta with cream sauce. There is cream in there. I might add a little bit more cream though. But thanks for watching today's Food Aspire Home and Garden, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, or week I should say, and please inspire to do something wonderful in your life no matter what it is, and inspire other people to do something wonderful in theirs. And thanks for subscribing to the channel, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Enjoy the rest of it. Try not to work too hard, but I know you all will. See you next time.